I have 84 books on my physical TBR right now. They're mostly fantasy and thrillers, two of my great loves when it comes to books, and I want to get through a bunch of them fast. So we are going to read 5 thriller books in 5 days. It's a bit of a challenge for me because I don't have a ton of time to read, but I personally read thriller books pretty quickly. I'd say of any genre, I read thriller books the fastest. I love a super dark, twisty thriller with a really clever ending. I love when there are little breadcrumbs throughout the book and they're giving you hints, they're giving you clues with lots of red herrings too. And you have to try to figure it out. I love a really cleverly crafted thriller. It's fun to figure it out, but sometimes it's even more fun to be like, oh my god, of course that's them after the big reveal. Of course that's what happened. And see how all of those little hints and clues all came together in the end. I love my thrillers tied up with like a neat little bow. I just love a good thriller. But my standards are also pretty high for a good thriller because I've read so many of them and I know so specifically what I like and what I don't like. So we'll see how this goes. I just have so many good thrillers too on my TBR shelf and I want to read some of them, and I just feel like this is a perfect challenge to do that. So let's read 5 thrillers in 5 days. So we are reading a thriller called Daisy Darker, and it is I'm gonna call it like a closed room murder mystery. So it follows the Darker family, who are a very dysfunctional family. They go to an island where the grandmother lives, Nana. You can only leave the island when the tide is out, and the tide is currently in. Nana has been found dead after we found out that she is going to be leaving all of her fortune and the house to her great-granddaughter, who's a child, a teen. And her family is like extremely money hungry and they're all super mad. And then she's found dead. We go from there. So basically it's a whodunit. It's very interesting so far and I feel like I'm picking up on lots of little bits and pieces and I'm trying to figure out who did it because I love that. Some of my favorite things about a really cleverly done thriller is picking up all of the little breadcrumbs along the way and seeing if I can figure out who it is. I love my hammock. I am reading so much of this book. It has been a very productive nap for me. So far, I'm very into this. Bugs. So far, I'm very into this book and I'm very curious what's going to happen. I feel like it's very much a mystery type thriller and we're trying to put together all of the pieces to see if we can figure out who the killer is or killers are in this little family drama. All right, so it's currently 9 o'clock. I have read all of that. I'm on page 230, so I think I have about 100 pages left, and it's good, but I honestly think that it's gonna go away. That's different than what I thought, so I'm very interested to see. Allie's read it, but she doesn't think that she finished it, so I can't even ask her what she thought of it. I hate that you don't finish books. We're so different because I refuse to DNF a book. Like, I need to finish books, and she's the opposite. I did it. Day 1, book 1, complete. And I don't know how to tell you how I feel about this book without spoiling it for you. We're following her and her family, the Darkers. They go to visit Nana for her 80th birthday. Nana also has always thought she's gonna die on her 80th birthday because the fortune teller told her so. But spoiler alert, the whole family gets there. They haven't been together in years. They don't get along. It's a very difficult family dynamic, and then Nana dies. Shocker. After reading her will and saying that she is not giving any money to any of these people, she is leaving everything to her great-granddaughter. There's a bunch of poems in this that are really interesting. They're kind of written like children's nursery rhymes, and I really like that aspect of it, but this is a very dark and twisty book. There is a lot of deaths in this. I actually found it pretty gripping. It's just I don't like the twist. And I can't tell you anything about what the twist is and why I don't like the twist because that will ruin it for you. So I'm really struggling with saying what I thought of this. I think overall I gave it 4 stars. I think I'm giving it 4 stars. It was pretty good. I mean, I read it very quickly, so obviously it did suck me in and I didn't struggle with it at all. I found it very fast paced. I mean, it takes place over 8 hours and then there are flashbacks back in time. It's one of those kinds of books where we're on 2 different timelines. I liked it. So I can't tell you what the twist is, but I don't like the twist. If you've read this book, the twist is not for me. If you've seen me talk a lot about thrillers, this might spoil it a little bit, but the #1 thing I hate in a thriller happens in this book. We need to pick our second book. If you watched my little what I read in April versus what I want to read in May video, then you know that I have 2 more thrillers on my TBR. Those 2 thrillers are The Long Weekend by Jilly McMillan or None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. Lisa Jewell is one of my favorite thriller authors, but I also do like a Jilly McMillan book. Which one? Which one are we gonna read? This one is when a famous podcaster interviews a stranger promising to divulge the story of a lifetime. Secrets emerge that threaten to expose the truth of the lives they've both worked hard to project and protect. Versus this one I know is a group of women travel to the most remote place in England for a weekend escape only to discover a startling note saying that one of their husbands will be killed before they return. Okay, so I think we're gonna go with this one. I hope I have enough time to read today. I should have picked whichever one was shorter. This one is 340 pages. I have something up my sleeve for those days that I can't read much. But we are gonna read 5 thrillers in 5 days. I am committed. I am 60 pages into this and I just realized that it doesn't have chapters. I don't know if I've ever read a novel that doesn't have chapters. I ended up making it to page 78 during the twins nap and I honestly don't know if I'm gonna finish this. I am just about 80 pages in and I feel like absolutely nothing has happened. So I don't know if I'm gonna stick this out. It's really weird the way that there's no chapters. It's just like one really long run-on thing, but at the same time it's rapidly switching between points of view. So I don't know if I'm gonna actually finish this. It might be a DNF and I don't love DNFing books, but it just feels so dull. What are you laughing at over there? What are you laughing at? DNF, did not finish. Do you not like my book lingo? I really don't know. I checked Goodreads and it has like 3.5 stars. I don't know, there's something weird about it. I'm not into it. I am not into it and it just does not feel good. I don't know if I misplaced a memory card or deleted some footage, but I lost everything that I filmed about what happened here. So I went to a brewery to get some writing done to work on our book, and once I was done, so I brought The Long Weekend with me to the brewery thinking that I would try to read some more of it, and honestly I could not get into it and I started panicking because this video was reading 5 books in 5 days and I had to finish a book and I knew that I was not going to finish that one. So I ended up picking up a novelette, I don't know, a really short novel. And that was The Gift by Frida McFadden, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. It's, I want to say like 60 or 70 pages, and it's actually like a Christmas story. Oh no, it's 51 pages. So it was short, so it was kind of cheating, but I had to do what I had to do in the moment. So I regretted this decision too. This is a waste of time. Don't read it. I think I gave it 2 stars. It is a Christmas story. There's a waitress. She's really struggling financially. She wants to come up with a really nice Christmas gift for her husband. It's her first Christmas married, and she meets this old like witchy kind of lady. And then the witchy lady says, I have this store, I can get you a really nice gift, but you're gonna have to get me something in return. And it's just weird and it wasn't good. And honestly, it made me think of this Mickey Mouse Christmas story that I have seen. There's like this anthology type movie that I had on VHS as a kid, and in it Mickey sells his pocket watch to get a gift for Minnie, and Minnie sells her something to get a gift for Mickey, but Mickey ends up getting something for what Minnie sold, and Minnie ends up getting like a chain for his pocket watch, which he sold. It reminded me of that, honestly, but like extremely weird. So don't read it, just it was a waste of time. I'm softy enoughing this. So I could not care less what happens in this book, which is shocking because I love a good thriller. Something about this is just not for me. Part of that might be the rapid succession between kind of viewpoints, but it's not viewpoints. It's like who we're following. It's rapidly changing. So this book isn't told from like a person's point of view. It is told, I want to say that it's called third person omniscient, like a all-knowing God. We're following everyone, and the narrator, to say, knows what every person is thinking and what everyone is doing at all times, and is telling us that. But it's rapidly switching between people because of that. So say they're in the car, 3 people, it's saying Jane is sitting there thinking about this, and are those her names? And Emily is in the back seat and she's thinking, oh my god, I hate Ruth in the front, like, for example, that kind of stuff. It's just rapidly switching between where they are and what they're thinking, everybody. And it's not a fun read for me like that. I'm very confused constantly on who's who because it's just so quickly jumping between people, and their husbands haven't actually been introduced yet. So when they're like, my husband Paul, da, 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 and then it's immediately to another girl being like, my husband, I'm so confused constantly. And there's no chapters. So it's just such a confusing book. And the only time that it's like broken up is like this, and that is if we're jumping between scenes. So if we're going from the cottage to the Airbnb host's house, I don't know what they could have to do with it. It's just, it's so confusing. I am not gripped at all. Like I said, don't care what happens in this. And that is the absolute worst thing I think a book could do, is make you not care. You should care. You should want to know what's going to happen. I could easily put this down and never think about it again. I don't love that in a book. So we're gonna soft DNF it. Maybe we'll finish it later in this video because I know people said that the twists are really good, but overall, I'm not feeling it. So we're gonna put this down for now and start a different book. It's a little bit of a treat to myself. The twins are napping. I am going to take a bash, which I don't normally have time to do in the day, but I just got a new phone and it's updating and it says it's gonna take hours, so might as well enjoy myself. It's the cute little wifey. I'm gonna use this bubble bar. What did I even tell you about this book? I don't know what I filmed. Okay, so none of this is true. Lisa Jewell, so good. So this book follows birthday twins. So they are 2 women that run into each other and happen to be born at the same hospital on the same day. One of them is a podcaster, the other is a mom housewife kind of person, and she says, the mom housewife kind of person, that she has quite a story that she'd like to tell and that she wants to transform her life into something better. And they decide that they will do a podcast together called Birthday Twins. But it turns out that a lot of people in this story are not what they seem, and their lives kind of start unfolding, and you start questioning what's true, what are lies. It's very interesting. I loved it, and I didn't see where it was going for a lot of it. I loved it. There was some murders, there were some twists. It was great. I'd give it 5 stars. It was one of my favorite thrillers that I've read in a really long time. The only thing that I didn't absolutely love, and this is a classic me if you know how I feel about books, there was a pretty open-ended ending where we still don't know who was lying and who was telling the truth. So there's that. What a good thriller. I think that Lisa Jewell writes really great thrillers. I have never been disappointed by one of her books, and I honestly think I've read every single one except for, what is it? The Family Remains, because that's currently on my TBR shelf behind me. What should I read next? Honestly, I'm thinking about reading some more of this because I hate DNFing books. I just want to finish it. I feel like it was a waste of time. to read 100 pages of this and then just put it down and not finish it, even though I understand I'm going to waste even more of my time if I read 200 more pages of it and don't like it at the end. So that's an option. We could read that. I do have some more thrillers on my TBR that I have been thinking about. Like, there's so many on here. I really just don't know what one seems the best. The Woman Inside by M.T. Edvardson. This is actually an advanced reader copy that I have been sent, and I didn't end up reading it. This book came out last year. My wife read it, and I think she enjoyed it. Maybe we'll read this. What do we think? Or do we try this? Maybe I was gonna say I'll read one more chapter. There's no chapters in this book. Maybe I'll read like 10 more pages of this and then reassess. And if I'm not enjoying it, then maybe I'll go to this one. So it says, a wealthy couple ends up murdered in the nicest part of town in this compulsively readable page-turning thriller. So Bill, recently widowed, is desperate to provide for his daughter, Sally, struggling to pay rent. He welcomes a lodger into their home, Carla, a law student and aspiring judge, who works as a housekeeper to make ends meet. Her clients are the writers, an incredibly wealthy couple who hide behind closed doors. The wife is ill and hasn't left the house in months. The husband is controlling and obsessive. Is he just a worried husband concerned for his wife's health, or is there something more sinister at play? As Bill's situation becomes more dire, Carla is forced to make a difficult choice, and when the writers wind up dead and Carla is pulled in for questioning, she's made to defend some parts of her past she'd rather not revisit. Every person in The Woman Inside is hiding something, but could any of them have really been driven to kill? I don't know. We have some options. I'll try this again. Guys, I'm just not into it. I powered through and I finished this. I actually asked Allie to take some like aesthetic shots because it was so warm and so cozy yesterday that I got to sit out in my favorite reading spot, which is my hammock, all curled up, and it was amazing. But she was busy and we forgot, so there's not really many reading clips of this, but I did it. And I wish I didn't. I really wish I didn't. This book was not it for me. The writing style, I think, is what really did it in for me. Like I said earlier, the fact that there's no chapters and we're rapidly changing viewpoints, but not viewpoints because everything's third person. But we're just rapidly switching between who we're following, and there was a lot of characters that I was like, what was the point? Like, there was so much. I had so many questions. I felt like there was a lot of loose ends. It didn't feel like everything was really tied up in a nice bow at the end of it. You know why things happened the way they did. And this book didn't do that for me. I just didn't enjoy it. I had told you I was going to read just a few more pages, and then those few pages, I did get a little more hooked, and there is a person throughout the book that we're trying to figure out who they are, and we don't know, and then the information is slowly revealed. We're following this person, but we don't know which of the characters in the book we're following, and I was really curious about who they were. And then there was the big reveal, and it was not fine even. I only gave this book 2 stars. I didn't enjoy it. Maybe you would. Reminder that books are subjective. Some people like things, some people don't. This was just a don't for me, so it's done. We're moving on. But 4 books in 4 days. We have 1 more to go. I have got quite a bit of reading time in today already, so I'm on page 193. We've made a good dent in this. It's a really quick read, I would say. Again, it's The Woman Inside. But here's my thing. So far, it reminds me so much of The Housemaid and The Housemaid Returns or something. These books by Frida McFadden. Like, it's so similar. Like, so similar feeling. So we'll see if it ends up being different, but I don't know where this is gonna go. We still have some reading to do. The twins are napping. I was able to get some reading done this morning, and I have so much stuff to do. I have so much stuff to do between getting ready for the trip. I'm actually going on a solo trip to Boston. I have so much on the go and so much I have to get done for work, for life, for the trips, and I just want to finish this book so that I can move on. Like, I want to enjoy reading. I'm just feeling a little stressed. that I've challenged myself to do this and I feel like I don't have the time. For once we completed a challenge. I read this yesterday. Okay, so 5 days, 5 thrillers. What did I think of The Woman Inside? Honestly, it reminded me a lot of other books that I've read where there's a sick wife, she's a recluse, she's in her room, she's super sick, can't do things for herself, and then this sketchy kind of husband figure, and then there's a housekeeper who's seeing it all go down. I think that what happened was a bunch of people just had the same idea at the same time, a bunch of authors, and then they all just happened to come out around the same time because I read a lot of thrillers similar. I rated it 3 stars. It was actually a super quick read because the chapters are so short, which I personally really like. Also, we are going back and forth between different people. It's a multiple point of view type thing, and also transcripts from police interviews because 2 people are found dead and we need to figure out who had the motive for murder. Turns out they all do, but who did the actual killing? It was a good quick read. I gave it 3 stars just because it felt long. It's like 380 pages. Felt a little drawn out and the ending's a bit bonkers. So 3 stars, but it wasn't horrible. And with that, a reading challenge I actually completed. We read 5 books in 5 days, 5 thrillers in 5 days. I was spooked. I loved it. I'm pretty proud of myself for actually reading 5 books in 5 days. So thanks for watching. I'm going to be back next week with another video. Hopefully. I actually have like a whole bunch of trips coming up and I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna do some videos on this channel that are not book related. So I don't know how that's gonna go, but I have more loves than just books, like Disney. I absolutely love Disney. I am a Disney adult. Mostly, I have always loved theme park lore and theme park history, and it's just a very niche special interest of mine. And I am going on a Disney trip soon. I have so many fun Disney crafts I want to do. I want to do a bunch of prep, show my outfits, come up with my outfits. There's so much that I want to do before the trip, and I just thought it would be fun to take you guys along and share another interest of mine with you. So if that's something that you are interested in, stay tuned because it's going to be real soon. So I will see you next week for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye!